And in the upper right, in the red, he is for Starcom, the Russian Terran, Kas.
And his opponent in the lower left, driving the good ship of StarCraft content. It is Team Liquid's Harstem.
May not be the year of Harstem here in DreamHack Fall, but it certainly is the year of Harstem in our hearts, in our dreams. The man with the flaming lips, he still's got a shot. Not ending up in last place, not ending up in 7th place. So if you're cheering for that, let us know. Let us know. Cheer for the man. And unfortunately, Kas, I think actually no, if he wins the series, he will be top 7, I believe. I think he will be 7th place in his group. So that's absolutely something that he is still fighting for here. He still has, it's not mathematically determined that he ends up in last place in this group. So he's got something to fight for. As we do have a scout coming out here. I don't think we're going to see anything too crazy from Harstem. We don't see double gas. Nothing like an early Cybercore or anything like that in game number 1. And Kas, well, it's going to be a Marine expand.
Yep, very standard openers for both of these players to start out with. Things can still get a little bit wonky a little bit later, of course, but for right now, we're not seeing anything untoward. But yeah, I mean, this is a tough one for Kas. You know, he knows he's 100% out, and he hasn't won a match yet, and that's a tough spot to be in. You don't want to end one of these groups without having won anything at all. You know, going out in last place is it hurts. Going out in last place, 0 and I guess it'd be 0 and 7, right? 0 and 8. Yeah. That's like insult to injury, and it hurts. You don't want to see anybody in that kind of pain. He's been playing the game for a long time. He's one of the veterans, Kas, and you know, it's good to see him still being able to get to the group stage. We've got a few people that have been playing this game for a long time in these group stages. You know, you got your Clems, your Max Paxes, your Rainers, but then we got Kas and we got Bly. We had Mana a little while ago. These guys have been around. They've been around the block once or twice, and it's good to see them in here, but it's hard to see them sitting at the bottom of the group like this. You know, I'm pulling for Kas, but of course, we all love Harstem. How can you not love Harstem? You look at that face and you gotta love him.
I don't know, Chicken Man, much like what I have to deal with when casting with you, and I see your long flowing hair and rapacious good looks, I don't know, I'm a little intimidated. And, you know, Harstem, as talented as he is, as attractive as he is, as skilled as he is at all things, even piloting ships for that matter, I don't know. I love him, but I also fear him. And
I see. Well, that's the Dutch, actually. I'm a little bit Dutch, and so I think that you know, comes out in that sort of way. You end up pretty tall and very extremely good looking. Really, every Dutch person I know, extremely good looking and very intimidating. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, what is it about casters in StarCraft in particular that means they're just really tall? Like, I want to say Pig is very tall. We got Rushy, who's like 6'5". You know, you're decently tall, I believe. Harstem is also massive. I mean, I'm not short, but I'm like probably within the median there at just about 6 feet. Anyways, we got something funny coming here from Kas, and that's what we should be talking about. We got a Widowmine drop coming on in, but there are 4 Hellions as well. So I think he's just going to drop these Widowmines and then go pick up the...
Oh my god, look at where the probes are going. Oh my god,
he's going to do it.
Oh,
he's got
no, Harstem. Oh my god, dude. Oh, that is so good. No, you're so stacked. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh, this is beautiful. I love this.
That was just about the most brilliant thing I've seen. Oh my, the preparation there. 18 workers are dead. This game is over.
I mean, Harstem's going to move across the map, right? He has to. He just killed a bunch of army units. He's got a handful of Blink Stalkers. He's got to do it. But if Kas can just hold it home without losing a bunch of workers, I think he is going to be in a fantastic position here. He's got a 3rd CC finishing up. Tank on the high ground is going to push these Stalkers away. And Harstem just needs to chrono out probes. He puts down a Dark Shrine immediately. And he's like, the old adage, right? He says, one behind Dark Shrine, let's go. But there's a Raven about to pop out.
Let's see, yeah, Raven, also 3CC play. There is going to be more than enough detection here. And the Stalkers, yeah, they're going to blink on top of this tank. They're going to do what they can, but they're getting punished hard for it. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Captain,
That's a lot of Stalkers to lose. oh, Captain. Oh, no.
I mean,
there's not a lot down here, though. The Marines, one Marine makes it to the bunker. The tank gets one shot off. The Raven's out of energy. I'll tell you, one Marine, not the scariest thing in the world. Stalkers do have to back up, though. Losing those 3 Stalkers means there's just a lot less DPS here. If he can get on top of that Raven, right as the DTs come out, and the Dark Shrine's about to finish up, there's a Warp Prism on the way. Harstem might have a shot here, right? And he's keeping the 3rd from being able to land quite as quickly so he can get his probe count back up. He's doing everything he needs to do, but it is still, I mean, this is a fight from behind for Harstem. He needs to trade very efficiently in the next few minutes. Ooh, he gets the Raven. That might trigger Cass to know that there's some DTs coming, though, right? You see somebody go real hard for that Raven, maybe save a scan or two.
I mean, yeah, but also Ravens are really good against anything that the Protoss player is going to look to make, right? You know, Colossus, the Shardless, whatever. So I'm not convinced that the Raven just dying or the blinking on top of a Raven, because that's what Harstem's going to do anyways. I'm not totally convinced that that is really a tell that Dark Templar are going to be underway. So Warp Prism on the left-hand side is going to warp in a bunch of DTs there. And Kosty's not going to be allowed out of his natural for a while. I mean, Stim is only just now, just about a third of the way done here. So it's going to be a while. Even as +1 is going to be in a good spot, it's going to take a while. But 3 tanks are a bit of a problem. How many scans actually does Kost have? He's got none. 1.
Yeah.
And the other one, well,
he's gonna have 2 soon if he doesn't drop a mule, but he's landing a 3rd base. What's the first thing you do? Drop mules? Not yet, not yet. So we might actually have some scans available. And you know, you were already quoting some Walt Whitman, but the Raven is now nevermore. So let's see if these DTs can get some damage done. There's actually only the 1 right now, so Harstem not committing super hard on this. Oh, I lied. There is a second one. I hear it. I can hear it doing damage, but I didn't see it. It's invisible. We do have probes going down on the other side of the map. DT is going to get a handful of kills as well. Just try to keep that SCV count as low as possible. Not doing a ton of damage. Oh, they need to get out of there.
Do they though? I mean, there's nothing. There's no anti-air. It's just Marauders.
I assumed there was
scary.
Marines, but the Marauders were like, I don't know, man. I can't lift my arms that high.
Yeah, to bring it back up.
DTs get some good damage done. That one gets out of there. The Warp Prism's still a threat. The income graph has now finally skewed towards Harstem's favor for a little bit, but he still has a lot to make up for. And look at that army supply, 75 to 31.
Yeah, that has me a little bit scared. That, and of course, with the missile turrets here, these DTs don't have as much damage potential as they might otherwise have. So honestly, just as long as you keep a little bit of bio back home, this is the terrifying thing. But you know, +1 armor is done. Charge is done. We have, you know, stuff that's gonna make this happen.
Yeah.
14 charge
Harstem, though, not quite able to get into that splash damage, though, right? He's got the Robo and the Robo Bay on the way. So he wants to get it. Oh my God, that cancel was the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
That was honestly gorgeous there, but I don't know if it's gonna matter here. Now, we do have really nice force fields, and these Zealots with +1, they're tanky, right? They're not gonna go down all that quickly. Now with the Zealots, they're in the main base. They're starting to find some damage. Anything in the natural, that answer is no. 3rd base, though, it will get broken. That's not a surprise. I think we all knew that Harstem was just going to lose his base. And yeah, when he loses the base, he's like, look, I'm too far behind here. GG Kost, he got 1 on me. Let's go back game 2.
Yeah, and I mean, it all stems back to those Hellions, right? That just the beautiful predictive play from Cass to know, okay, I'm going to drop these Widow Mines. And this is clearly all premeditated and just really well executed. Drops the Widow Mines, the Hellions dive in right as they get to that wall. And a little bit unfortunate there as well, there was only an Adept in the wall. So the Hellions, they can chew through that in no time flat. The Adept not going to be able to hold the wall very long. I think a Stalker there might make a big difference, which it's kind of sad to say that one choice could have been the difference between a win and a loss there for Harstem. And now Cass gets another win, so that's 3 total map wins. And he is 1 game away from actually taking a series in this group.
That he is. And you talk about maybe a stalker on the wall or something. I mean, the first damage, the first 6 probes that died were through the unit in the wall, right? There was a shield battery there. It wasn't like the unit died that allowed them all in. This was Harstem kind of panicking. He's like, oh God, it's everywhere. And then the wall got opened. I don't know whether it was on hold position or what, but yeah, eventually the Hellions, they found their way through. That first bit of damage, those first 5-6 workers, that was because the probes were pulled into the wall.
Right next to the wall. Yeah, there was a Reaper as well, I noticed, which it's funny, he didn't open Reaper, but he made one specifically so the Hellions could get through the wall if there was a unit there, which I think is, again, just the premeditation of that. Like, that's a build. You can take that and use that on ladder. If you play Terran and you're struggling with Protoss openers, go take that build. That's a good one. That'll kill him.
Well, that's the question, right? Do all of the Protoss players, do they pull in the same spot, or is that just like Costa, like, look, okay, when I know there's Widowmine drops, I know you pull workers there. So I'm going to make a build that punishes the fact that you always pull your workers towards the wall instead of, say, into the main base. I don't know. What I do know, though, is our second game is now here. Oxide's the map. Let's get into that one. And in the bottom left here, into the right up, 1-0 off of a brilliant, absolutely brilliant build of game number 1. He is for Starcom, Kas.
And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner, El Capitan. For Team Liquid, it is Harstem.
Man, I love it. Yeah, it's always kind of fun to look at. Like, oh, how is the audience reacting? How is Twitch chat reacting after a series? And you just see GG Imba. Like, yeah, that was an Imba build. You're right, 100%. It was Terran imbalance that meant that that Kos won that game 1. Nothing to do with just brilliant play. Really brilliant build order choice. No, it's because Hellions are imbalanced. You heard it here first, folks.
That's true. Hellions, they are very Imba against probes. Probes need a buff, I think. I think probes need like a 10 HP buff.
Oh, is he gonna get the? No, he's not. Never mind. I got excited. I didn't deserve to be excited. It's fine. So it's gonna be Reaper expand in this game too. What's the difference here? He went Marine expand in game number 1. That opens himself up to maybe some earlier tech options, right? You get that extra 50 gas. You can get a reactor faster. You can maybe build more Marines faster. You can get a faster factory, all that stuff. So getting the Reaper expand here means that, well, actually, I'm sorry. It was Reaper expand in game number 1. It's all okay.
Was it? I thought it was a Marine expand.
I thought I saw Reaper in the main base. Maybe I'm confusing with the different PvT we did today.
You know what? Who knows? But if anything, I think the Reaper this game is probably for scouting more than anything, right? He wants to know, Harstem's down 0-1. What does a Protoss do when they're behind? Well, they do some funky shenanigans is what they do. And a Reaper being out there to scout, keep an eye on things, I think is going to be really, really valuable for Cass here. And as long as that Reaper doesn't die to the Adept, but he'll get away for now.
And of course, the second benefit of the Reaper being on the map right now is it means that he can just kind of distract the Adept, say, hey, yeah, go attack me. Meanwhile, the bunker finishes. Meanwhile, we get Marines in the bunker. Meanwhile, the command center is done. So none of that is going to get canceled. None of that is going to be delayed. Yeah. We're not going to have like a 4-minute natural like we sometimes see.
Yep, it's all going very well for Cass in this early game, but Harstem just getting into that Twilight Council. We should see Blink started up fairly soon. And it looks like he's still just going to play your standard PvT opener. So not going to get into anything too shocking here.
Yeah, the other, I guess, question that we're going to be looking at is, well, yeah, with Blink, does he go into that third base? Is it 2-gate expand build? Is it like stats is super greedy 1-gate expand Blink? I don't think that's likely. Or is it going to be the more aggressive option? You know, do we see 2 additional gates get added, 3 additional gates get added? And then Harstem says, look, I kind of died to your aggression in game number 1. I don't want to deal with it in game number 2. I want to kill you first. All of these are options. Of course, Koss going for a more kind of straight up build. Right, he's going for Widowmine drop. No, I'm sorry, that's not even it's only going to be 1 Widowmine. So that's interesting. If he goes for a Widowmine drop, it's going to be like a Marine Widowmine drop.
Is this just going to, yeah, I was just going to say, is he just going to load with some Marines and the Widowmine? We have seen that before. It can be a little cheeky, but I wouldn't expect too much damage from it. And it looks like it is just going to be an expand for Harstem. He is setting up for that third base. And yeah, just a single medevac. All right. Or a single Widowmine, rather. I guess that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Normally, with Widowmine drops, if you see the single Widowmine, it's either a defensive play or you pair the Widowmine drop with something. Normally, you don't just see this one Widowmine in a drop, but I kind of like it here from Koss. He's like, yeah, be afraid. I'm doing things, but not really. And it doesn't really matter whether this Widowmine drop doesn't get anything done or not because it's only one. Doesn't really matter.
Did you see that from Harstem? As soon as the medevac came in, the first thing his stalkers did was go to the wall.
Yeah, I did.
He was like, I'm stopping these Hellions. You're not getting in. No. Don't do it.
No. I have suffered enough from this build. It's not going to happen anymore. But yeah, just third base. The build on Oxide, on a shorter map, I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing this is the game that we see. That's something that really approaches a more standard game. That being said, Koss, well, I say standard, but it is going to be it's a more standard build of aggression, right? It's going to be +1 stim combat shield timings. Hitting it like 7 minutes, third base behind that. Standard.
This is also pretty safe defensively if there were to be some more stalker pressure, right? You are going to want those barracks up sooner. He's got stim already halfway done, combat shields and +1 started up as well. So if it was like 3-gate stalker pressure, this would be a lot safer against it. As it is, 4 stalkers is probably the least scary thing in the world for this Terran right now. He even picks one of them off before they're able to blink out of there. And we have Colossi coming up behind this, which I feel like I haven't seen just this straight up blink stalker into Colossi play in a while. So it's kind of interesting, Harstem going back to kind of the classic. I mean, this is what I feel like is standard meta, even though I haven't seen it in a while. And this is why we see the Raven being built, right? That Raven can shut down 1-2 Colossi and can be really powerful for the push that Cass is probably going to go for in a minute here.
Yeah, certainly. How many Colossus do we have? We're going to have 2 Colossus, maybe 3 by the time that Koss gets ready to move on out. I mean, we're hitting that timing, right? Stim is done. +1 is just about done. Combat shield's just about done here. Yeah, this is the time we're going to see Koss hit. And notice, he does not have any tanks with this, right? This is just a pure bio ball. He spent all of his gas on a Raven, and yeah, Ravens are good against Colossus. Sure, they can disrupt them. But with shield battery overcharge, what we've kind of started to notice here, and again, because this build happens a lot, is it feels like the Raven disable doesn't do a lot here for the Terran player. I mean, yes, the Colossus doesn't really fire, but shield battery overcharge keeps everything alive long enough that by the time the Raven energy is all, or the Raven disruption, the projectile is all done right before
matrix.
Yeah, there we go. I'm like, I never remember the name of that ability, but by the time the shutdown's done, the shield battery's over, and you can just take a fight straight up that you're pretty happy with.
Yeah, and also we've had plenty of time for Thermal Lance to finish up. Both Colossi going to get shut down. We're not seeing the overcharge just yet. Force field's going down, but that just kind of allows this bio ball to run into the natural. Don't know if I'm in love with this engagement for Harstem so far, but as those interference matrices run out, Cass he's kind of trapped himself. He might be able to get some damage done here, but with charge and Thermal Lance both finished up, is he going to get enough damage to stop what inevitable counterattack will happen here? He's going to be able to lift some of these units and try to boost them out, I assume. Oh, he's just running into Colossi lasers. This bio is double stimmed. The blink forward gets the Raven. And 11 probes, I guess that's okay. If we take a look at the battle report, it's looking like Cass did destroy more resources worth. But I don't know, is there going to be a counter push from Harstem? The army supply is still in the Terran's favor. And it looks like he's going to be able to take a third and should be able to hold it here. A lot of Widow Mine, so Charge Lot's not going to be able to do their thing. I got to say, I'm in love with that attack from Cass. It looked a little dangerous at first, but he got plenty of damage done in the natural, in the main, lifted up, got out of there with a lot of that bio, and is maintaining an army supply lead.
Yeah, on the flip side, though, he didn't kill any tech here from Harstem, right? The Colossus are still alive. The sentries, for the most part, are still alive. I think maybe one went down. No production died from Koss either. It's not like he had, say, an upgrade sniped or a Robo Bay or something like that get sniped. Although we do need to see this gateway get repowered. But that was just about it in terms of, like, things that matter for Harstem. Because, I mean, 11 workers when you're on 3 bases, yeah, it's impactful. But Harstem already, he's back on 73. He's already in a position where he can build a decent enough army. His +1's just about done. And already, he moving out of the map. No, he's just posturing. Okay. So I think this, honestly, I think from Cost with losing the majority of his army there, I think that was more of the bare minimum than wow, this was a brilliant attack. Like, he got 11 workers, sure, but he got zealots that you kind of expect to trade on out anyways. The army supply gap is just about where we expect it to be at this point in the game. Maybe it's a little bit bigger, 33 instead of 20 something, but now, well, that's just going to go down a little bit more. Widowmine drop is not going to get anything. Yeah. Honestly, I think he's, Harstem is pretty okay with this, but I think so is Cass.
Yeah, I think, you know, that attack certainly could have gotten more done, but I was very afraid he was going to dive in there and all those units were just going to fall. He ended up getting a good amount done. That is too funny. The feedback stalker shot and then the friendly fire onto the Widowmine gets both of them. That was the Widowmine drop from the very start of the game.
Now, what the other funny thing here is we see Cass effectively going for a build that was more popular in Heart of the Swarm, right? You got 3 ghosts and you got your Vikings. And yes, no boys have been pulled with this one because it's Legacy of the Void and STV pulls are not really a thing anymore. But this build is super anachronistic. It's back, it harkens back to the style that Cass was playing when he was, you know, one of the best Terrans in Europe. And while the Archons are just getting on top of that, they're finding so much damage here. And yeah, the Vikings are firing strong, but Guardian Shield is just too damn good. And the Disruptor shot at the end, yeah. That didn't work. That really didn't work.
Again, a lot of the chaff went down there, right? Those units on the front, but a couple of Archons, some Zealots, maybe a few Stalkers, 3 Colossi still standing strong. The Vikings went down. Cass trying to get out of there with a handful of bio units, but now Harstem has a much stronger push across the map. He's still got Disruptors coming out. His +2 is almost finished. He might just want to wait for that one. He doesn't want to hit too much of an anti-timing. He's going to take that Widowmine out. He does still need to be careful about the Vikings. We've still got, what, 4 Vikings out right now. Disruptor getting jumped on a little bit, but it's going to throw out that Nova, get a good amount of the bio, and with more Archons reinforcing, Stalkers blinking forward to get underneath those Vikings. Getting a little worried for the Terran here.
Well, Chicken Man, that's only good for us because I think as a Disruptor just... Oh, that was a Widowmine, okay. I was going to say, I think here, we're going to see Harstem. He's going to take this A, at least the way it's looking right now, and I think we're going to get our first 3-game series of the day. Which, as a StarCraft fan,
it is
I love
about
that.
time. Yeah, Cass needs to do a lot to catch back up. He is now down army supply, and you never want to be there as the Terran. And his Viking count has been consistently dwindled, so these Colossi are getting so much damage done, and even if they fall, the Disruptors underneath might just be too much. He's going for another engagement here, but he's gonna have to pick up. Oh, the blink forward gets those units. Harstem taking a big supply lead now. 40 supply up. He's up workers. He's up army. The upgrades just suddenly clicked for Cass, so he's got a little bit of an upgrade lead, but that doesn't matter against Disruptors. This planetary not even finished in time. SCV is too late to repair. Oh, as I say that, okay, it does go down. That was a little bit close for a second there. I don't think the bio is going to be enough to really take a good trade here as more Zealots come over. Boys pulled off the line, but it looks like we are going to that game 3.
I can't believe this one Colossus is still alive from the start of the game here. It's got 16 kills. It's absolutely found its value. It's done even more damage than that. This Disruptor shots, I mean, there's nothing for it to kill. It's like, yeah, one Widowmine. Yeah, sure, that's value. Yeah, 100%. That's what I want.
You killed 1 unit. Well, there's only 4 there, so, you know, what are you going to do? Cass sticking in the game, but it's feeling like a lost cause at this point. He's got a ton of gas, and, you know, what does he really spend that on? Is he gonna go build a couple Ravens? Is he gonna build a couple Ghosts?
Okay, hear me out here.
There's just not much. What you got?
Nukes. He's gonna nuke the army somehow.
Good call. There is no detection with this, so you never know.
Again, it's 30 army supply lead in the lead for a Protoss player who has a more expensive army by now. I mean, look how much more gas. It's double the minerals, almost triple the gas here. That is just, not only is it a bigger army, it is a much more expensive army. And yeah, it is down upgrades for just a little bit, 2-1 versus 2-0, but well, 3-1
he's
just
about to
for
finish
Harstem.
up his own +3, +1 armor, and I think that's what Harstem's waiting for at this point. Waiting to finish that up. Cass gonna try to take the best fight he can, but down a bunch of supply with Disruptors that he needs to micro against and Zealots that he needs to micro against in a different way. It's just not looking too good, and there is the GG.
That it is, and Chicken Man, I got some good news. Actually, I got good news on 2 fronts. A, this is going to be our last game of Europe. We're, of course, going to have North America later, which means My 4 a.m. friend, you can take a nap after this. B, I got even better news.
Ooh.
You won't be able to because game number 3 is going to be just about as dynamic as game number 2 was. And it means it was a 2-1. It means we saved our best games of the day for the last games of the day. So as much as you may wish to take a nap, because 4 a.m. is early, I'm not convinced you're going to be able to. Not with the games, not with the
I don't
quality
want
of
a
the
nap,
games.
actually.
Sorry?
Yeah, I don't need a nap.
Oh, okay.
What I need is game 3.
That's fair.
Listen, I'm awake running on pretty much pure passion right now. Okay. And nothing gets my passion flowing, my passion just up in the air like North American StarCraft. So let's get this game 3 done and let's get I don't want to break. I'd rather go watch some more North American StarCraft in the meantime. You know?
Absolutely. But anyways, we're gonna get on into game 3 soon. Harstem's getting some water. Oh, actually, he says he's ready, so never mind with that one. But yes, Chicken Man, I'm sorry. North America starts at like 4 o'clock Eastern. So we're gonna have like
we got
4
a few
hours of break before this.
Yeah.
So there is that.
That's all right.
We're doing what
That's
we
all
can.
Plenty of time. Hopefully this game goes nice and long for us. All right. I'm ready for supreme late game on Blackburn. TVP. I want to see carriers out against Terran. You know, I want to see those nukes. Let's see it happen.
Yeah, so my question, what's your, if you're going to say this is going to be a long game, what's your over under? Is it over under 20? Do you think it's going to, where are you thinking this game's going to end up at?
Well, as much as I like to talk about long games, I'm thinking this game going to be under 10 minutes.
Fair enough. 10 minutes is the number. Well, we're going to have to see what that one works out. We're on into that game 3 is Blackburn. Let's go. And in the bottom left, in the blue, he took game 1. He lost game 2 for Starcom. He is Kass.
And his opponent in the lower right-hand corner, trying to get one more set win under his belt. The captain for Team Liquid, it is Harstem. Kind of funny that he's on Team Liquid and he's the captain. Right?
I mean, it makes sense. No,
Yeah.
The really funny thing is, do you follow Dota at all?
Very little.
So for the longest time, arguably one of the greatest carry players to play the game, it goes by Matumba Man. He was also on Team Liquid when Team Liquid won the International. And do you know what his nickname was?
Was it the captain?
Oh, the Admiral, but close enough, right? He was
The Admiral.
for a
I
while.
see.
He played on a team that was 4 anchors and Sea Admiral, and he was of course the Admiral. I believe he actually has his captain's license. So I don't know what it is, but Liquid appears to attract high level players who have some affiliation with running boats or captaining boats.
Huh. Well, there you go. That's not too surprising.
Can't explain that. And you want to talk about early games? Well, we got a 1-1 opener coming on in from Koss in this game number 3. He's gonna go for something a little bit aggressive, and the probe survives. Oh no.
Oh, look at him go, dude. That probe, the cheeky probe. You know, that's like, I always think the probe is like an annoying little brother. You know, comes in, like pokes and prods at you, and then just when you're like, you want to smack him, he's, oh, mom. Oh, no, don't hit me. And you're like, and he just gets away. Annoying ass little brothers.
What is it with Blackburn and like stories about annoying younger brothers? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. That's
This
just
happened
where we're
earlier
at
today,
today.
Chicken Man.
It's the theme. The theme of today is little brothers.
Wait, so were you the eldest child as well, or were you the one that was doing I'm not actually touching you?
I was the younger brother for a number of years, and then I had younger brothers. So I got to be on both ends of it. I was one of the lucky few, but that did mean I knew what games were going to be played. I was like, no, you can't do that to me. I did that first. I did that 6 years ago.
You merely rediscovered the old magic. I've invented it. something like that.
That's right. That's right. I wrote the book on being annoying. Thank you very much.
All right, so we got 4 Hellions running across the map here. Do we have a what do we have with this? It's just 4 Hellions and a Reaper. So the more mundane, more standard. Yeah, we're gonna bump you out of the wall here. There's not even a full wall. Not yet. So these Hellions actually they have a bit of room. Wait, that's a 2-unit wall there.
Oh, that's a little sketchy. I don't like this. That Reaper is gonna be able to bop this. Is there a building that can go up though? Oh, he gets it. Oh my God.
Not only that, I thought he had Hellions trapped, which would have been 4 free Hellions, but no. I think the Reaper went down. Yes, the
Reaper did go down. And wow, what a block from Harstem. He was ready for that. That probe was there explicitly for that purpose, but it was still extremely close. The Reaper grenade nearly bopped that probe from being able to drop that building in time.
Yes.
Great job from Harstem, though. That perfect defense.
Absolutely. You know, it's kind of funny. You talk about oh, look at this. We even got the recall for the Viking
God.
harass. Oh, Harstem's just on top of it because, you know, as someone wise once said, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, well, you fooled me.
Won't
anyways,
get fooled again.
Yeah, exactly. Hellions, yeah, I like this from Harstem. He's just kind of constantly got this wall, and he's putting Chrono on blink. How many gates does he have? Only 2, but he's adding a third. Oh, he's actually not. That was just in the wall there.
That was the wall third.
Yeah.
Interesting. And he goes straight into Robo Bay.
I kind of expected to see Harstem go, and with the commitments we've seen to the Hellions, right? That is build time that's not into tanks. With the commitment into Viking, that is build time that's not committed to A medevacs, B Ravens. I maybe expected to see him maybe drop a couple additional gateways and run across the map, try to make something happen. Because I mean, well, I guess there are 2 tanks out now, so the timing isn't quite there. And yeah, okay, Harstem, third base underway. You will have quick Colossus. This is not the easiest map to hold those type of +1 stim combat shield timing pushes, though, Chicken Man. I mean, it is a wide open area, but some really nice tank positions here, so you can't really get the force fills that you want. It's actually, Terran pushes on this map are incredibly scary.
They are. I gotta say, I love that Harstem was able to take down all of those Hellions, though, because right now, Cass is a little bit in the dark, right? His Viking is pushed back into the corner. His Hellions are dead. He doesn't have much on the map. And he doesn't have a ton of vision of what's going on right now. He doesn't know about the Robo Bay. He doesn't actually know what any of the tech is. He knows Blink, of course, but he doesn't know what any of the follow-up is. And that can be very scary for him. You know, he doesn't want to move out on the map and get completely caught off guard. Now, this Viking harass might be able to give him a little bit more insight, but no, he's just going to come in, kill a probe, and leave.
You know what? Value. You got a probe. That is damage you might otherwise have had, although it doesn't make up for buying a second Viking. A Viking that, well, he will save, so really it's going to help against the Colossus. And we do have a Raven on the field, right? So that is going to be rather nice when this timing that Costa is looking for, when it does hit. But this is not the timing that we were taught that he dealt with in game number 2. There's a third base underway.
Yeah, this is a lot less aggressive. It's similar, but it's definitely more economic focused and going to be a lot stronger of a push. If he goes for a push, he might, you know, be just chilling for now back at home. But he definitely needs to get a scout on what he's up against, because you want to be able to get some counters out for that, whether it's more tanks, whether it's into Vikings, or if he wants to just try to utilize what he has. He needs to know what he's up against.
You know, I'm a bit surprised that we don't, if this is truly Cross just going for like a 3 base timing, and granted, it's not the earliest possible third base. It's now done at 7 minutes, which means to start like 4:45. I don't think this is not the greediest possible fourth base, so it's not like we're gonna see double upgrades behind this, which is kind of maybe what I want to see if Koss is opting into being rather defensive about it. But I think Harstem's kind of realized exactly what's happened. I don't know if he's seen this third base just yet, but look at this. We already have a fourth base underway. He's like, yeah, I have Colossus. I saw what happened when you tried to make that push happen last time. Not all that great. And he's going to get the Raven again. Oh my God.
Great pickoff. So important against those Colossi. Charge is nearly done. Thermal Lance is nearly done. +1 is nearly done for Harstem. He sees that this third base is being taken, and this is the more forward third base, right? This is a slightly more aggressive third base, and it's a little bit harder to defend if there is a counter push across the map. But I think Cass does want to get aggressive. He wants to start pushing through the middle. I like that Harstem didn't take the mirror base, right? He expanded straight up in a line. He doesn't want to have to defend that close to the Terran production.
And now, honestly, Harstem, he's going to be very happy with where he is. He's up on his 4 bases. He's got 70 workers. He's going on up to 10 gateways here. He's just going to be able to build as many charge slots as he would like. And that means that, honestly, by the time that Koss looks to move on out here, the gateways, they're not going to be done for the first hold, but they should be done after that. And with how many Colossus do we have? Yeah, we have 3 Colossus on the field right now. And there's, what, 1 Viking? The Raven is dead. I don't see this getting that much.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I love that little push out there from Harstem. He forces the siege up, the tank siege, the mines burrow, and then he just backs on up. This Viking, is this the same Viking from the very start? It is. That was the first Viking that went to the corner. This is really cheeky. Medevac gets killed, but this is still like nice little tank position back here. He might be able to pick some bio up and move it up. The tanks can't do too much to pressure from over there. I guess they're just going to kill that pylon, and then Cass is going to back up. He's got a 4th base on the way. He is getting further up, but he doesn't have any more upgrades on the way, right? There's no second eBay armory, I feel like. So he doesn't have +2, +1 started up, and that's a problem for the Terran as he moves forward.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't even have +1 armor on the way here. That you can't afford that with single eBay, right? Koss has 3 bases. He's not that terrible of a spot, but yeah, no second eBay, no armory, although it's underway now. Koss appears to be trying to hit that same type of push that he wanted to hit in game 2, right? A decent amount of Vikings, 3 ghosts, run across the map, you make it work or you don't. And it did work last game, for what it's worth. And that's kind of the game that Koss is trying to play, but it feels, I don't know, maybe a little bit too old school, although. Nice blink dodge there in the last second. I was gonna say, the Widowmine's gonna be good, but no.
We actually have double armory, and he can't. No, maybe he finished the second eBay. No, I think he canceled. No, it's in the main. I lied. Sorry, don't listen to me. But double armory is really interesting. What does he want to get into with this?
I think that's a mistake, honestly. I don't think this is for double armory tech. I think it's just my armory. I can't get +2. What's it? Up. Oh, I don't have an armory. Okay. Meanwhile, of course, he had an armory already building. So now double armory here for Koss. It's gonna be interesting to see what he does with it, if anything. But this is the other part of this map. It's really hard to break a Terran that wants to turtle like this. I mean, there are more attack paths, but still, with the slow zones, it's rather hard to make happen. And yeah, okay, Harstem, he's going to get scanned. He's going to be forced on back here. Meanwhile, Koss, he does have his 4th base on location. The planetary is just about done. And you were asking for a long game. Well, unless this fight goes catastrophically one way or the other, I think we may see that.
Yeah, it's really looking like it. Everybody getting into their further upgrades. We've got disruptors coming out. And this is just kind of stall out the game a little bit. More ghosts being made. Let's see. It's going to come down to an engagement, and it could be a game-ending engagement. Big EMPs, big disruptor shots. Either way, this can just turn on its head in a second. I like that Harstem has a good handful of immortals in here. That's going to make very short work of tanks. Beautiful little run by. Going to get some SCVs with the zealots here. Those disruptor shots are so good. Kaz leaving the tanks on their own out there, and he's going to try to take a bit of an engagement here. Continues to push forward as Harstem has taken that gold base as a 5th. He's just trying to boost ahead economically. He's maintaining a worker lead. The zealots coming in from the bottom side, and here he goes. Harstem's going to dive in. Big EMPs on the front lines. Disruptor shots are dodged initially there. Couple connections. Both players going to back up a little bit. Looks like Cass wants to rotate around, maybe kill some of these probes, move up towards that upper right corner base, but he might be able to trap himself, which is not what he wants to do. Harstem looking to come in for the surround. Oh my god, that EMP dead center mass.
I mean, he does have a lot of medevacs, so I think he can pick up most of this army and retreat if he needs to. Second EMP is going to be fantastic as well. These zealots are just not surviving onto contact, but there are no Vikings either. So this army here from Koss, the zealot flank as well. This is what he was looking for.
The lift up, but I don't think there's boost available right now. One of those full medevacs goes down. Only 4 of them going to get away. 2 of them have units in them. And yeah, those Colossi just doing way too much damage. We're finally seeing Liberators and a second starport being added. I was just going to say, I wish there was something to deal with these ground units. Cass has fallen back, but he is down 50 supply right now. Harstem is maxed. He's got a ton of stalkers. He's still got the Colossi, disruptors, and immortals all alive. And Cass has fallen back to pretty much nothing. The EMPs just aren't really there. They're not enough. And it's looking like as more Disruptor Novas come out, GG's going to get called with an